Has the housing market started to soar? We have got new home sales, existing home sales, pending home sales, all exceeding expectations, and some of them by a mile. New home sales, for example, came in at 800,000 when they were expected to be about 640. That is a monster beat. We've got to talk housing. We've got to figure what's going on. Is this a head fake? Is it just a lie? Is the data suspect? Or has the housing market turned around? Taylor, what's going on, buddy?
Oh man, this is awesome stuff. I mean, I love to see the pickup in the housing market because that has such trickle through effects on all of the economy. Depending on what you're looking at, 15, 20% of the overall economy is based on the housing market. So if we start getting transactions there, that can do wonders for our economic backdrop. So that's the first thing I would mention. The second thing I would mention is the one that really doesn't surprise me, that I think is very logical, is that new home sales are up and beating, because that's just an effect of, listen, there isn't a supply of people that really have a desire to give up a 3% mortgage and lock in, even if it's at 6 now versus 7 or whatever it was before. That's just not appetizing to folks. So the fact that that is happening, and then also the incentives they're getting from the builders, I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Like, how much does that have to do with the rise in new home sales? Because there's some really interesting stuff. I talked about on one of my videos, the 3-2-1 buy down, where they get a 3% reduction in the mortgage the first year, a 2% in the second year, and a 1% in the third year. And that is really attractive to someone, especially if someone has the perception that, hey, I think interest rates are actually going lower. And again, I'm not saying that should be your presumption, but if someone has that thought process, hey, I'll just lock this now and then I'll refi here in 3 years and we'll be all good to go.
Yeah.
Risky endeavor. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it's very risky. I'm not a fan of 3-2-1 buy down. I think you got to get financing that works day one and have it be frozen. But yeah, if you can take it, you can use it, go for it. If you want to gamble, go for it. But let's talk new home sales, because I think that's the one that was most intriguing. It was the most monstrous beat. It was so big. People were saying the data was dirty.
Yeah.
Right. The data is ugly. Right. It was so big. But I actually think it was kind of I think there's a little something going on behind the scenes. So again, I watch real estate a lot, certainly more than you. I looked at Lennar's earnings. Did you know that in Lennar's earnings, they said that their average seller credits were 14.2%, maybe 14.4. Let's call it 15%. That means
talk me through that.
That means if they're selling a $400,000 home, they're giving $60,000 in credits.
Whoa.
That's what that means. 15%, right? I'm rounding for easy math.
Yeah.
And that seller credits could be anything. It could be the buy down, right? Because again, I'm sitting in a home today, right now, when I bought this when rates were 8%. Lennar paid, because Lennar was my builder. Lennar bought me all the way down to 4.99, 30-year fixed. We're not talking a 3-2-1. We're talking
fixed.
30-year fixed.
I was going to say, you're just now you're talking on both sides of your mouth, but you're not, because you said the entirety of the mortgage is at 4.99.
Yeah, 4.99, 30-year fixed, doesn't change. So again, that cost him. I did the math. It cost him $67,000 to buy me down from 8 to 4.99. And again, anyways, it is what it is. But I think what's happening and why the new home number surprised everybody, it was actually the builders going, I'm done. So I think what's happened the last 6 months or so is builders have been doing this pace over profit, right? And Lennar actually came out, their CEO said it's time to back off on that. We may have gone too far. So what does that mean? That means that they're going to sell out the stuff they've already built, because right now they have more finished product than product starting. That's also a problem coming.
Yep.
So they're going to blow out the inventory that they currently have, and they're going to slow the way down. So they're going to have layoffs soon. They're actually starting less than they're selling. So think about that. More stuff is selling than starting. That means their book of business is going to get smaller. Yeah, it's contracting. Right. So I think this was not. Go ahead.
I didn't understand one thing there. You confused me, because you said that they're going to stop giving so much, but yet they're going to push a glut through seemingly the market.
So the stuff that is done, they're going to blow out, but they're going to start producing less stuff so that the 15% goes to 11 because they're just going to build after, the contract is signed.
Not great for Americans at large.
Right? No, exactly. This is, this little head fake, where people can go, oh, right, great, the housing market's coming back. No. That's just builders getting rid of the lame stuff they have, clearing the deck. And then we're going to see this crater the other way. So I think at least for new home sales, it's a red flag.
Interesting.
that we may see some contraction.
Right.
And that will happen until, because again, if you're building, like if you're starting less than you're selling, that means you need less people. Taylor, are you there, bud?
Yeah, I'm here. Go ahead. You did cut out for a second. Go ahead again.
Yeah, that's right. So I was just saying that the fact that the builders are blowing out their last remaining inventory, but not starting as much, means that we may have a significant contraction in workforce in real estate.
And so then the dependency moves to existing home sales. And so now hopefully we continue to get some reprieve out of the other side, meaning interest rates. I think more than anything else, we need interest rates to settle in, right? And it is this funny game of people thinking that the Fed controls interest rates or mortgage rates. I'm sorry, that the Fed controls mortgage rates, which they certainly do not, evidenced by last year them cutting and mortgage rates immediately popping, right?
Mm-hmm.
So with that, no one can forecast the direction of interest rates. It is the hardest job in markets, in economies, to forecast the direction of rates. But what we really need is that the interest rate to settle in, the 10-year part of the curve to settle in from a treasury rate perspective. That's what dictates mortgages, and that would do wonders for existing home sales.
You're exactly right, because I think we've learned, and again, why is pending home sales? We got pending home sales this morning, Monday the 29th, and they were up 4% month on month, 3.8% year on year. And that's because rates are coming down, right?
Yep.
Real estate is the most interest rate sensitive part of our economy.
No doubt.
And it's, let's call it 15% of the economy. It has been in a recession or a depression for 3.5 years, ever since rates doubled or nearly tripled. And you know, it doesn't have much more to give. So to your point, how do we get out of this? Rates got to go sub 6. They just got to go sub 6. If they do, you know, the engine may start. Fannie Mae actually thinks we might do another 500,000 transactions if rates go sub 6, and they could be right. Plus, the mortgage business will finally, you know, catch life with all these refis and whatnot. So
there's so much knock-on effect. You're 100% right, because you talk about like mortgage lenders, brokers, you know,
appraisers,
movers, landscapers, like even the stupid stuff, paint, Sherwin-Williams, all that stuff. Like Home Depot. There's the knock-on effect. The appliances, you know, is just a rolling monster. And so, if we could get rates to settle in, which again, nobody has the direct hand to control rates. Let's be 100% clear on that. But if we could get them to come down some, it would be incredibly useful.
Yeah. So if we just kind of step back from all of this and we kind of go back to the economy and jobs and the Fed, and, you know, obviously Scott Bessent and, you know, Scott Bessent saying that, you know, Powell should be signaling 150 basis points, not 75. And, you know, housing emergency and, you know, all of these things that are out there that may be coming from the administration. The biggest thing they could do is get rates lower. And, you know, one thing, I don't know if you caught this, I think it was last week, somebody talked about Operation Twist, which is basically instead of letting the mortgage-backed securities roll off, they take the proceeds and rebuy.
Yep.
Somebody estimated that might be good for 30 basis points, where if you take 30 basis points, you're immediately sub 6.
Yep.
So that might be coming.
Yeah, and that has just that massive psychological burden of, okay, now it's got a 5 before it, not a 6
It's so magical, that 5 number. Yeah.
It really is. It really is. Yeah. And it's such a hard concept, I think, for most to understand. But the reality is, if they cut rates aggressively, what that does is that stimulates the economy. In stimulation, the economy actually causes growth in GDP, growth in potentially inflation. That actually pushes rates higher. So it's so counterintuitive for people to talk about, especially because Trump confuses people when he says we need to cut rates to have mortgage rates come down. He knows that's not true, but he just wants the economy.
He wants the headline. Yeah,
easy way to sell it. But it's actually makes you run the risk of higher mortgage rates, all else being equal.
Yeah. At the end of the day, and when we step back to kind of the genesis of this conversation, all asset prices, if we really do go into a rate cutting cycle, because when I think about it, why would we have a rate cutting cycle? Weak job market. All right. So we go from 4.3 unemployment to 5.3. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that still means, you know, 90 are employed. And what does that mean for housing and gold and stocks? And again, does this all just circle back until M2 money supply goes back to trend? All asset prices will be inflated. I mean, is that Is that just the monkey going around the wheel that we're just like, okay, M2 money supplies, it's growing again. M2 money supplies up like 5% in the last couple of months.
Well, if you cut rates, money supply goes higher. Like that's the reality of it.
So you're telling me, Taylor, own assets. Is that what this is? Is just own assets and hold on?
That's it.
You
say it differently than me. I say the number one value we've done for our clients is get them out of cash. You say own assets, which is two ways of saying the same thing.
I love it. Taylor, where can people find you?
Yeah, find us on Instagram and on TikTok. We do daily videos. Our handle is @LifeGoalInvestments.
And folks, if you tune in, he gives you 5 minutes of value in 60 seconds. I think he has a day stretcher somehow, some TikTok or IG feature. It's kind of
You're
fun.
the man.
Thanks.